These are the Hunterfly Road houses, and they are the last remaining buildings from Weeksville, which at one point was the largest free black community in New York State before the Civil War. Weeksville gets its name from James Weeks, who purchased the property in what was then Brooklyn's Ninth Ward. Weeks purchased the land in the 1830s, just a few years after New York State abolished slavery. And by the 1850s, an estimated 45% of the neighborhood had been born below the Mason-Dixon line. It had its own school, church, multiple businesses, and two newspapers, the Freeman's Torchlight and the People's Journal, both of which often tried to help people who had escaped enslavement learn how to read. Weeksville played a pivotal role in New York's black community, partly because of the fact that black men were required to own property in order to vote, something that did not apply to white men. It was a safe, supportive community where you could afford land at reasonable prices. Weeksville's population boomed during the Civil War, especially after the draft riots in New York in 1863. Many people fled to the relative safety of the neighborhood. By the early part of the 1900s, though, Weeksville had slowly been absorbed into the other parts of the city. The result was most of the buildings and the streets were torn down. These houses that remained were rediscovered as actually being on Hunterfly Road due to an aerial survey in 1968. In the 1970s, spurred on by the president of the Weeksville Society, Joan Maynard, these houses were restored. And today, each one of them is decorated to represent what life would have been like in a different time period from the 18 to the 1900s.